Hello. I'm not going to ask you how you're doing because you all know that that's right, that I don't give a shit. So by the time you see this, I'll be not dead, hopefully, but just asleep. You see, with the time difference, it'll be the middle of the night for me. As some of you know, I recently moved back to France and to Paris northern suburb, to be more precise. And Paris suburb in January or February, for that matter, is cold and damp. Since I'm a hopeless motorcycle rider, riding in 38-degree weather with a light yet constant drizzle falling for days can be a bit of a challenge. The ground looks like a blackened ice skating rink, and I hold my breath and hope for the best at each roundabout. And yes, the French love their roundabouts. To add misery to the challenge, daylight these days doesn't come on until about 8:30 in the morning, and night falls around 5:30 in the evening. Needless to say, I haven't seen the sun in about 3 weeks, and my Florida tan is long gone. And 3 weeks ago is when I started working in a popular part of the suburb, and that's the politically correct word for ghetto or project or any other denomination used for neighborhood that has fallen in disrepair over the past decades. I now teach middle school English to mostly African born kids who sometimes can hardly speak French, yet alone English. Some of them are French-born from African, Wolof, or Beriba-speaking parents. Others are Turkish or Romanian, French-born of Algerian descent, Indians from India, or Pakistanis. Occasionally, there is a blonde head or a Jewish-sounding name kid. I work in this true melting pot, and though the kids are not particularly eager to learn, like most kids, they remain mostly joyful, as kids should be, despite the dire looking neighborhood they live in, and despite the plight in which their adulthood will most likely be. If we are created equal, these kids, their parents, and their neighborhood clearly didn't get the memo because they seem mostly fucked up from the get go. So let's add up. Gloomy weather, not the song Stormy Weather, but almost. Gloomy neighborhood, gloomy endeavors and prospect for those living in it, in that neighborhood. Gloomy economy in France with 12% unemployment and most likely 30 to 40% in that suburb. Gloomy climatic conditions with three hurricane force wind storms in the last 5 weeks in France, and probably getting worse over time if Beaverhead Trump can help it. This is way too much gloom. I think I found a remedy this morning. I played the Mahna Mahna song from the Muppet Show. Not the 1969 version, the original song that appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show, but the one from the 1976 Muppet Show episode. You know the song. Mana mana doop doop doo doo doo. Mana mana doop doo doo doo. Let there be light. These kids, with a clear generational and cultural gap with me, a world away from knowing the Muppet Show, kids that embrace smartphones as early as 8 years old or even earlier, parents and financial means willing, these kids who seem to have the attention span of a goldfish, these kids who seem to be motivated by virtually nothing, who could blame them, suddenly lit up when they first heard Mana Mana. They started smiling, and within 30 seconds of the 2 minutes and 26-second video, they were all singing Mana Mana doop doop doo doo doo, Mana Mana doop doo doo doo. All the gloom was gone, and I found myself smiling at their joy and hopeful that there are solutions, positively clear skies, and bright future options so long as we declare that it's Mana Mana time, and we shall overcome.